Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
Maps come with me. No. When do we start?
Celebrate good times. Come on, welcome to the show.
Get out of my dreams.
This is our musical episode.
And into my car.
I wrote 29 original songs for this, for every story we're talking about.
Really?
Get ready.
Why was I not included in the collaboration of the song?
It's a solo album.
Oh.
You know when an artist just wants to, spread their wings and escape their captors?
I don't even get like a featuring credit.
They're buffoons, if you will.
I just be in the background as like a background vocal, be like,
I feel like most acts, there's usually like the straight man and the fool, where they have to play that up, but I feel like we don't have to do that very often.
I am the straight man and you're the fool. Because I'm not the one who went into business for myself.
Yeah, oh boy. Hey kids, if you want, do you like money? Work for someone else.
Yes, it's much better. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, is it not?
Oh boy. Is that what that is? I thought that was just anxiety.
It could be a little bit of both.
Because we enter construction week 2.
It's really week 3.
Or whatever this is. Yeah, I suppose.
Do you have like little like hash marks on your wall like you're in prison?
Every day. And I just have to like take a knife and cut in there like Zach was here.
Edmond Dantes that shit.
And that's when you'll find me hanging from a noose.
Oh, see, I went Count of Monte Cristo, like Redemption. You went the other way with Shawshank and Brooks. Poor Brooks. Institutionalized.
He just couldn't deal with the outside world.
No, he couldn't.
Had to ask permission to pee.
Well, it's always good to like, I need to. Can I? I'll be right back.
Do you have a thing this week? I don't really have a thing. Maybe we should pre-discuss things so we don't have to come up with it on the fly. 100-odd episodes in. Novel idea.
No, I don't have a thing.
Yeah, neither do I. So I guess we could just jump right.
It's kind of a boring week. I'm on vacation this week. I guess that's exciting.
For those of us who are allowed to not work every day forever.
Well,
It's not about starting a business.
You made the choices you made, my friend.
I did. But in all fairness, I am much happier not working for someone else.
I'll be sleeping in tomorrow while you're slaving away over a hot tablet at the store watching movies and TV.
You mean when we're getting 2 inches of rain? Oh, yeah, it's going to be
Don't forget the freezing rain in the morning.
It's going to be a killer day at the store. Everyone's going to come in. I can't wait to buy paper products and 2 inches of rain.
Full disclosure, recording on Sunday and Tuesday.
Sometimes. We'll see. Can you find the seams? You don't know where they are. Am I drunker in one portion more than the other? You don't know.
I'll know.
You will.
The shadow knows.
Of course. Okay, so from there, let's get into the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
Coming off the back of Shazam, which is currently filming with Zachary Levi, Black Adam could be filming in 2019, according to friend of the show, Dwayne Johnson. No, The Rock, because we don't want him to have to pay the WWE.
Yeah, I don't want to have to pay the WWE either. Vincent McMahon will knock down your door and take your money.
He probably could.
Vincent Kennedy McMahon. You know what I watched?
I did not know that middle name.
You know what I watched last week, which was fascinating?
Raw.
No.
Okay.
The Andre the Giant documentary.
Oh, okay.
That was really good. You can find it on YouTube. You should watch it.
Yeah, he was an interesting guy.
Very interesting guy. Just some of the stories about him. There was a scene with him, or it was Ric Flair talking about him. He's like, yeah, brother, one night, me and Andre, 105 beers.
Wow.
Between 2 people. I'm guessing that like 90 of those beers were Andre.
Well,
Andre could drink, dude. 105 beers in one night between 2 people.
I mean, that kind of sounds like our 4th of July, but there were 3 people.
Yeah, we did work on that cooler of beer.
Get ready for the 3rd annual party, baby.
Oh, no.
We're going to rage. Stop leaving things around my house.
Like what?
Bottle caps, specifically.
We were drunk.
Where you got drunk and left bottle caps and, like, small Easter eggs in my house.
That was great. Are you still finding them?
Yes!
That's awesome. Even better.
No bottles are allowed this year. All cans.
No glass.
Yeah. Things for me to strike you over the head with.
What about our friend's parent bringing 25-year-old fireworks and burning holes in your lawn?
Also no fireworks this
year.
And
shooting bottle rockets into your neighbor's house.
Yeah, nope. Let's skip that one, too.
That was hilarious. I don't know what was funnier, when they just stayed there in the ground and burnt a hole, and you're like, that's my lawn! Or when the one went off and it went into your neighbor's house, you're like, that's my neighbor's house!
I was concerned either way.
I'm totally getting fireworks for this year's 4th of July celebration.
We can do it at your house.
We got Memorial Day before that. Don't forget Memorial Day shenanigans.
Do we do things on
We
Memorial Day?
did something on Memorial Day last year, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I believe you.
And we got lit up on that, too.
It sounds probable. Jessica Jones is back, baby. It's been renewed for season 3, which brings into question, I don't understand how these Netflix Marvel shows work, because I know Disney is working on their own streaming service, so who holds what for rights? I don't know. Don't say it.
Don't say what?
Okay, good. Never say anything about knowing things. But yeah, so more Jessica Jones to the surprise of no one, but kind of curious of where the rights land as far as where those shows will go once Disney launches their own streaming service. Potentially big news, and one of them might be a small spoiler, but I honestly don't know. I could just be reading into a thing. We gotta do a little bit of Infinity War news.
Ooh, because that's, 14 days away?
Yeah, it's getting real close.
18 days away. It's coming up.
The Russo brothers, the director. Yes. In reference to the X-Men and the Fantastic Four joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the way they said this could be a possibility might be through Secret Wars. Now, for those of you who don't know Secret Wars...
I don't know what Secret Wars
I know,
are.
I'm here for you.
Yes, they were kept from me. They were a secret, in fact,
Actually,
from
I think
me.
I've talked about this on the show before. There's been Secret Wars 2, and then there was one in 2015 as well.
The not-so-secret wars?
Oh, there was Secret War 2, and then Secret Wars, plural.
Okay.
But the way they came up with the term Secret War was focus grouping kids and finding what words were the coolest.
Yes, I remember you talking about this.
And then kids thought secret and war were the coolest words, so they just made an event based on focus grouping, and then turned it into a toy line. And then we're like, make a comic, because these are the toys we have.
Fair.
But, so, people were pointing to the original story, the Secret War storyline, which involved a cosmic entity called the Beyonder, who gathers a bunch of, Earth's mightiest heroes and X-Men.
Oh, like the Avengers?
Yeah. And Doctor Doom and a few other odds and ends to go into...
Man-Bat?
Wrong universe.
Oh, sorry.
To go into Battle World to, duke it out, and Colossus cheats on Kitty, and that's no bueno.
No. Hell hath no fury like a kitty scorned.
And she was also like 13 at the time, and he was 18, so...
Young love.
Yeah, illegal love.
Yeah.
But I think what is the more likely option is going to be the 2015... What they're talking about might be the most recent one, the 2015 Secret Wars. That was the one that literally collapsed universes. Universes all crashed into each other, and then, including the Marvel Universe, which was destroyed when it was rebuilt by the son of Reed Richards, Franklin Richards. They might not go for that angle, but I think it might be a case of literally universes colliding and being rebuilt. Might be what they're teasing. Which would be interesting. I mean, that's kind of like high concept, big idea.
Yeah.
Which would be all about seeing, do it. Just crash a universe into another one. Why not? The other side of Infinity War news, the press tour has begun, and the press tour is vague.
As well it should be, as you would suppose it would be.
But I was watching some of those, and talking about Thanos in these movies, and this might be a potential spoiler, but it's definitely not confirmed by any stretch of the imagination. The Russo brothers were talking about this as a heist movie for Thanos, who's trying to get all these Infinity Stones as quickly as he can, because if forces of the universe are aware, then they might try and stop them, which might just tie into this week's book where we talk about forces of the universe trying to stop Thanos. So we might be seeing Celestials, probably not Galactus, but those big Eternity that we just talked about, those big cosmic entities actually might be in this movie. I might be right.
That would be different.
Yeah, first time for everything.
The sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then.
I would have gone with a broken clock is right at least twice a day, but you went with the phrase I've never heard.
You've never heard that before?
No, that's a new one to me.
Really? Well, it was great for me because I complimented you and called you a dog's ass in the same sentence.
Fantastic. So glad you could have that.
Listen, I take whatever I can get, man.
Let's follow up with the constant weirdness that is the end of Stan Lee's life, because there were a few this week. I thought after the first one that would be enough, but no, we got multiple stories.
No, I feel like this is only going to get worse before it gets better or Stan dies.
Or is it better is the thing? It's kind of unclear.
I don't know.
Stan Lee's current person who is responsible for his care released a video, again to TMZ. Stop doing that.
The bastion of fair news reporting and high-level journalism, TMZ.
But it was a video of Stan saying that he denies all of these defamatory claims that have been happening to him recently, and these are his words, not mine, that he will sue the ass off of the people making these claims if they don't stop. And then he also added, it was when I get around to it or when I have time. You're 95. You don't have much time or way too much of it. It's one of those two.
I'll sue your ass off. Excelsior.
Yes. Hey, Spider-Friend, I'll sue your ass off.
It's sad. It's a sad, sad state of affairs, man.
I'll send you a no prize.
Oh, wow. I'll publish your address in the book.
Yeah. But so that was weird. What was even stranger about this video that was released to TMZ is there was a copyright on it by his primary care provider. So I was like, that's weird. Why would you copyright this?
Yeah, but didn't his publishing company also put out a letter this week?
What there also was this week is there was a full New York Times article.
There was?
Yeah. All about Stan and these claims that have been made in the end of his life. And they did an interview at his house, like, talking about, like, are you essentially under house arrest? He's like, no, I'm the freest man there is. This is all ridiculous. I have a great relationship with my daughter, which in all fairness does bring up some contradictions to what we've been hearing. Within the article, the New York Times article, which I do recommend you read, it's not terribly long, but they talk about how, like, some things have disappeared since his wife's death, and he's kind of vague about it. But then he's saying, oh, everything's perfect. But there are some definite things that we know. Like, we know that his assistant Max was fired, and the Daily Mail UK tabloid was there to photograph ahead of time, so they were definitely tipped off. We know for a fact that all of his phone numbers were changed. We know that a lot of his immediate staff was fired all at once. And we also know for sure that millions of dollars had...
And his blood.
Yeah,
allegedly his blood.
Yes, let's stick with allegedly, but we also know that millions of dollars disappeared from his bank accounts. The other stuff might be hearsay, and now we're having two conflicting reports in 1 week, so I have no idea, including one of them being Stan talking directly into a camera. So I am going to say things are definitely shady, but unknown how shady they are, and we will probably never know.
Nobody wants to see the sausage made, man.
I mean, no one wants to see anyone be abused, really.
No,
that's
absolutely
what it comes
not.
down to is like a pretty high level of elder abuse, potentially, kind of, sort of, maybe not as much as was being reported, but who the hell knows?
But his production, his publishing company,
POW Entertainment,
put out a statement saying, we really don't know what's going on, but we hope the best.
Yeah, it's weird stuff. Speaking of New York Times, it's time to talk BMB.
Ooh, yes, Brian Michael Bendis.
What is Bendis up to now?
We're gabbing about Bendis. It's this week's news about Brian Michael Bendis.
Bendis.
Also this week, New York Times also put out an article, a kind of strangely titled article, saying, can this man save Superman? That generally unpopular character of Superman. Kind of major staple for the company.
Been around for a while.
Yeah, only 80 years, 1,000 issues. Well, 1,000 issues for one book, like 800 for another one.
He's just everywhere.
A few other odds and ends. Can this man save Superman? The article is honestly meh. But it's nice seeing comics get some mainstream press. The title is also very misleading because they never actually dive into what is happening in the title. And I'm also not a big New York Times fan for comics. Relatively recently, they dropped, they used to have a, top 10 graphic novel section that they cut. It's like, oh, good. Please hurt the industry that is having some trouble. The article also claims that the industry isn't hurting, which to you I say, no.
Lies.
Yeah.
You sit on a throne of lies.
It's kind of a weak sauce article, but it was nice to see some mainstream recognition. Bendis has also said, I didn't come up with the title. He did do an interview with them, which is so strange because some other outlets might have reached out for interviews and got no response, but he'll respond to the New York Times. It was me.
Oh.
He didn't answer my email.
Yeah.
It's like an AOL account. I was like, what is this?
Dude, it's Bendis. He can do what he wants.
But yeah, so Bendis is being featured in a major newspaper publication.
He could be featured on a not-so-major, low-level, lower mid-tier podcast.
I really have no idea what other people's podcast numbers look like. I know what ours look like. Speaking of people being involved with podcasts that I may or may not do.
Oh, yes?
Skybound Entertainment, which is run by Walking Dead creator or co-creator Robert Kirkman, has hired former, I think titles were CEO and COO of IDW, Chris Ryall, as part of their editorial team. Coming up, let's say Thursday at 10:15, I might be doing an interview with said Chris Ryall.
Wow.
Old IDW editor, now working for Skybound, for the other show.
Oh, for the other show.
Yeah, you're like, what is this? Why do I need to know this name?
For the Buffy back issue bin. We can call it by its name.
We can. I was trying to be coy and subtle, but yes, I'm not
jealous of the other show because we have more success on our show.
Yeah, we do right now. So yeah, be looking for that soon. One, he has a new job, and he was barely out of a job. That was only a couple of weeks. I'm kind of surprised he jumped back so quick because, enjoy a couple of days off from running a company.
There you go. Take a vacation.
Oh, boy.
When are you going to take a vacation?
Never.
Wow.
But yeah, so Chris Royale, who seems to be generally one of the most liked people in comics, has a brand new job doing editorial over at Skybound. Like when he left IDW, there was such a massive outpouring of just like positivity on Twitter. We talked about where he also had to put out that unfortunate statement of like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, it's like, listen, guys.
Yeah, someone leaving a relatively successful company who was like, it wasn't for a weird sex thing.
Or drugs, or other...
It was just, I'm kind of tired of running a company after 14 years.
Yeah, I'm ready for a break.
Yeah, isn't that so sad that you have to release a statement like that? Like, I didn't do something weird and terrible.
That's the world we live in now, man.
Yeah, but good for him. He has a brand new job, and hey, there'll be an interview up with him soon.
Did you know, so John Cena, you know John Cena, right?
I'm aware of him.
He and his fiancée, Nikki Bella's ex-fiancée, it's coming out that they broke up, and they moved in together in 2013. He made her sign a 75-page cohabitation agreement. One of the things in it is that she would have to vacate his house with her things as soon as possible if they ever split. What else was interesting? That was really the only interesting thing about it. But yeah, 75-page, like, move-in prenuptial.
I have an annoying thing. I truly hate this.
Yeah.
Ready for this bit of news? Marvel has announced a classified X-Men comic, and the solicitation for it just says X Classified #1, written by Classified, art by Classified, cover by Classified, on sale at the end of July. You know why I hate stuff like this?
Why?
Because I don't know how to order. I've had this, like, Marvel, it's always Marvel that does it. They'll tease something out. They're like, oh, we don't have any details. I'm like, then how do I know what to order? You're giving me nothing here. Is it going to be a smash hit, or is no one going to care? Without context, it makes it impossible for me to order accurately. I really hate when they do this. But yeah, there's another X-Men book coming that's going to be classified, so add it to your pull list. Don't know anything about it. So that's fantastic.
Ah.
I'm annoyed. I mean, I always like more I love the X-Men.
You do.
But I hate it when they pull crap like this.
You don't, like you've said before, you don't deal in futures.
Yeah, it's really annoying to do. It's impossible to order when you don't know what you're getting. So, X-Men's coming, baby, I guess.
Yay!
There's a couple more.
Interesting article on The Verge today saying and arguing that Infinity War should not have a post-credit scene.
Okay. It doesn't really matter. There's going to be more movies coming, literally a month later with Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will or won't. They'll tell us ahead of time. That happened with Age of Ultron. They're like, there's a mid-credit sequence, there's nothing after, you don't need to stay. So I'll appreciate a heads up if there is nothing.
Yeah.
Which is, I also waited through Infinity War. I was like, but there is one, bet it was a line. Then I got to the end, I was like...
Through Infinity War or through?
Age of Ultron.
Oh, yeah.
Then I was like, oh, no, they told the truth. There was nothing. Some movie news. One of the 50 different movies that were thrown against the wall involving Harley Quinn at DC finally has a director. They're going with Birds of Prey, which is generally a Batman-based book. There was a short-lived, 12-episode TV show by the same name in the early 2000s that was panned by everyone. Fans, critics, mothers, fathers.
Babies.
Offspring that hadn't even been born yet were yelling. But the director's name is going to be Kathy Yan. She has done one movie that just came out a couple of months ago. I know nothing about her, but, I don't think it's a bad idea to have one Asian representation as far as directors go, and this will be the first Asian director for any comic book movie, and also going back to another female director, which clearly worked very well with Wonder Woman.
It didn't work just very well, it worked outstanding.
Yeah, so...
I think you don't sell her short.
I don't have a lot to say about her because I haven't seen the movie that she's done. She's done one flick that came out in January. But yeah, so Birds of Prey is officially happening and they have a director. Yay. Or not. I don't know. We'll see it when it comes out.
Huzzah, mates. Huzzah.
And then, hey, here's a weird one. This is just a series of words I would never think to say in one sentence.
I'm waiting.
Steven Spielberg is going to be doing a comic book movie. But...
Yes.
Before you get excited about it, because that's how everyone's reporting on it, he's not directing it. Or at least there's no sign that he's going to be directing.
He's going to be producing?
Yeah. I mean, he's one of the world's greatest producers. And even the title that he's tackling, this is also going to be for DC, who apparently at this point they're just like, screw it, we're going to grab random properties. Everyone knows who Batman is, and that ain't working for us right now.
Because everyone has that expectation for Batman.
He's going to be doing Black Hawk, which is going to be... The Black Hawks are World War II ace fighter pilots
I think that
set within the DC universe.
that would totally be something up his alley. He's a big World War II guy.
Yeah, but this is also coming from the guy who said that this, comic book movie was going to die the way of the Western a couple of years ago. No, I haven't forgotten you said that, Spielberg.
It hasn't yet. Westerns were big for a long time.
They were cheap to produce. But so yes, Steven Spielberg and his production company Amblin are going to be producing a Black Hawk movie for Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers also, just put out Ready Player One, and they said, like, hey, if you're already in this wheelhouse, you want to, dip your toes in a little further?
Yeah.
Before that, he's still doing Indiana Jones 5 for some reason. And then he's doing this.
Raiders of the Lost Geritol.
Why is he even working anymore? I'm excited. I think this is a good idea, and I'm excited about it, but I was thinking, like, he's in his 70s. Why is he working? He's produced and directed some of the greatest films of all time. I feel like he has a little nest egg set aside.
He's got some money saved up, I'm sure.
Take a day for yourself, man.
Maybe he just enjoys what he does, and that's his fun.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It can be his hobby now. He can kind of make whatever movie he wants to make.
He's kind of going out of that whole, what he seemed to be kind of like in his historical biopic period, and now he seems to be going back to the world of pop culture. I'm not against it.
Yeah. Fine by me.
But yeah, so Steven Spielberg is producing Black Hawk, and stop looking at articles that say, like, Steven Spielberg is making Black Hawk, which everyone thinks, like, oh, he's directing. He's not.
He's involved in the production team.
Yeah. And that about does that Black Hawk news. We've never had Black Hawk news before, but now we do.
No Man-Bat news this week. That's upsetting.
So rarely is there Man-Bat news.
Or Detective Chimp.
I'll get you something to read.
Excellent.
What else do we got?
Tell me more.
One more bit of movie news before we do just a hair of comics.
Yes, please.
The new Terminator has been cast.
Has it really?
Yeah, it's going to be by a guy named Gabriel Luna. You don't know the name, and you probably haven't seen him in anything. Talking to you specifically.
Yeah, probably not.
But he's the actor who played Ghost Rider on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, yeah, it's a show I don't watch.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. It took 4 years to get good.
And then it got bad again.
No, it's fine. It's still fine.
Oh, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s fine again?
Yeah, they're still doing good.
Oh, okay. They haven't disappointed you by going back to being mediocre at best?
No, they've risen above the first 3 seasons of awful. And I enjoy it now. It took a while, but they got there.
All right.
I hope that show ends this year so they don't fall back down that rabbit hole. But yeah, so Gabriel Luna is going to be the first Terminator of Mexican descent. He's American-born, but comes from, I think, in Texas when I was looking it up. But yeah, so will be our first Terminator of color.
Good for him.
Yeah, he was good. I liked him a lot in S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, he was a very strong part of that show.
Good for Skynet.
Yeah, branching out.
Yeah.
They're not very good at picking Terminators. First, they picked the most obvious guy.
Arnold.
Yeah, the biggest, scariest looking man.
Was Dolph Lundgren not available?
And then they went.
Was the guy who played the Kurgan in Highlander not available?
And then what did they do? Then they went with a tiny man with
Jean-Claude
big
Van
ears.
Damme not available?
And then they went for a woman who could change the size of her boobs.
That's a marketable skill.
And then the fourth one was, there really wasn't a specific Terminator in that one. And then the fifth one,
You ever think that's what
honestly don't remember.
Outside of everything else that the fembots in the Austin Powers series was making fun of, you ever think that was also making fun of the Terminator whose breasts could augment themselves?
No, because Austin Powers was like 2001. Terminator 3 was 2003.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
There was a parody. Austin Powers was a parody. And then Terminator was like, good idea.
We're going to take that.
We're going to have a terrible movie.
We're going to run with it.
The car chase scene is good. The rest of it's shit.
It's no Terminator Genesis.
Oh, boy. I don't even remember what the villain was in that movie. And that's not that old. Was it Doctor Who? Was he the villain? I don't even remember. It's a terrible movie that I'm never going to watch again. Refuse. Not fun bad. Bad. Yeah. Oh, boy. Never watched that movie. But that's okay. It's getting scrapped. So, hey. James Cameron said that everything that wasn't his movies no longer count.
They're retconning.
Fine with me. Oh, gosh. We have to lose 3 bad Terminator movies. Shucks.
Wah, wah.
Do you like hearing about legalities?
I do love a good jurist discussion.
Well, turns out Marvel Comics cannot draw the movie Deadpool costume in their books.
But why?
Fox owns the rights to it. Even though it's pretty accurate to what Deadpool looks like in the comics. There's like a couple of straps and a couple of shoulder pads. But yeah, Marvel cannot legally draw Deadpool in their comic books. Or that version of Deadpool in their comic books.
Well, that's dumb.
It is what it is. It's your own, copyright and licensing laws. But I just thought that was a little interesting tidbit. It also doesn't really matter. There's also 70,000 Deadpool books and probably too many. And one of my all-time favorite books is going to be continuing with a new writer and artist combo, Astonishing X-Men, which most of us started really loving in 2004 with the Joss Whedon and John Cassidy run. Originally, it was slated as a 12-issue maxi series, which Charles Soule was writing, but he's leaving with issue 12. It's going to be taken over by Matthew Rosenberg, and the team will consist, and it's not a fully confirmed team yet, but of Havoc, Beast, Colossus, Dazzler, and Warpath, plus a mystery character. The only reason that this team, I think it's an interesting team, it's a varied roster of characters, which I don't think is a bad team. Havoc and Beast will be co-running it, but Colossus is going to be on it, and it's very interesting to me that Colossus is going to be on a team right after getting married to Kitty, and she doesn't seem to be involved in the book.
I smell something rotten.
What's happening there? I didn't see a wedding ring on his hand in the promo image they released.
I didn't see the promo image they released.
Okay, it's fair. In all fairness, I didn't show you. Also, who's Dazzler?
He's a guy who comes
in.
in.
It's a lady.
She's a gal who comes in and causes men to make poor decisions. Dazzler, that sounds like a woman I met once at a adult club.
Dazzler likes to play clubs because she is not anymore, but she is a disco singer. She can turn sound into kind of light and energy.
That's my kind of... She throws some parties.
It's never been a character I've been super into, but she's weirdly popular.
Well, I mean, why not? She's pretty much a walking party.
She's disco, baby.
Disco's not dead.
I don't think I've ever mentioned it on the show, but ABBA.
What? Wow!
I really hate ABBA.
I think you have, and I think I had a similar reaction. Mamma mia!
I truly hate ABBA.
Are you not a dancing queen?
I deeply hate ABBA.
Why do you hate ABBA?
It is not for me.
Okay, but explain. I need back up your thesis of I hate ABBA.
Is that how you say it? You say ABBA?
ABBA.
ABBA?
Can you back up your thesis? Why do you hate these Scandinavian people?
I just dislike every song I've ever heard of theirs to my core. They haunt me. If we're mentioning disco, I just wanted to throw that out there.
You are not a super trooper.
I dislike them so much.
But
I've also never seen Mamma Mia, and I never will.
But why?
I just don't like it. Do I need more of a reason than that? I don't like that style. I don't particularly like disco, and I like their style of disco the least.
But that's not grounds for hating. Hate is a strong word, Zachary.
Hate is an accurate word for my feelings on ABBA.
I'm going to ask the show editor.
The dog.
Emily, can Zach hate ABBA?
No, I like ABBA, and I've seen Mamma Mia on Broadway, and I loved it.
Did you say ABBA?
I call it ABBA. What do you call it?
ABBA.
Which one's
ABBA.
I don't know. They're both...
Mine sounds better.
Nothing sounds good about ABBA.
I'm caught in the middle of this argument.
This marital spat you've created.
But I did see Mamma Mia on Broadway.
We're divorced now, so good.
Does that mean you need a co-host for the Buffy Back issue, Ben?
Yeah. That show's wrapping up.
Wow, that was aggressive.
And that's the end of the news.
In other news, Zach hates disco.
I do hate disco.
Does that mean you didn't like, what was the Kiss disco album?
I'm blanking on it, too.
It wasn't Destroyer, it
wasn't their best.
No, but it had I Was Made for Loving You on it. I want to say it was Legacy. Now I gotta look it up.
It's not a terrible song.
I Was Made for Loving You?
Yeah.
Kiss disco album. Oh, I got the Discotheque Kiss on the Rua Vacasso de Gama. They have great cocktails, and that happens to just be in Portugal. Why am I getting Portuguese? Oh, because they didn't put in albums. It gave me a Portuguese city.
You know, you always fill when you try and look something up. I can just cut this. It can be silent, and it'll be quicker.
Dynasty was the name of the album. Dynasty.
Of course, it sounds so
And
disco.
then the year after they took their paint off.
And then they put it back on.
Did they take the paint off the year after that? Was it Unmasked? Was 1980? No. What year did they...
Look, I enjoy some of their stuff, but let's just agree that Gene Simmons is the worst, right? Agreed!
Why do you think he's the worst?
Just seems like a jerk.
Just because he's allegedly slept with so many women?
It doesn't make him a jerk inherently, but just his demeanor and personality seem off-putting to me.
Hot in the Shade is an album that is highly underrated.
We are moving on from this talk of Kiss for some reason. I guess.
Would you rather talk
Do
about...
we need to do the Kiss comic now?
Yes, we do. Yes, please.
Man.
We also, if we do that, we also have to watch Kiss a Night at the Amusement Park. Did you know that there was a Kiss movie?
I'm trying to move on. Kiss also meant Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Kiss meets Phantom of the Park. We should watch that.
Great. Okay. We're moving on from there.
Why can't we watch Kiss Phantom of the Park? We can do a Kiss episode.
How you
You
doing
can put
this?
on. You can put on makeup. I'll put on Kiss makeup.
No one can see that.
But we can take pictures. We can Patreon it.
Such a weird use of Patreon. I'm moving on so you can talk about things you like to Jared's sports reports.
He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. Bare-chested. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
It's time for another Jared Sports Report.
Lots of sports news to talk about.
Golfer hits bird.
Yeah, I saw that. You told me about that.
That's all I know. Golfer hits bird.
Then I fell down a YouTube hole of watching people hit birds with golf balls.
You watched so many bird deaths in a row.
That was really terrible of me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, some guy in a PGA tournament hit a bird and the ball went in the water and he had to take a penalty and missed the cut. But
by one stroke.
Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it?
That bird's dead.
It does suck for the bird. Doesn't suck to be a Boston sports fan. The Bruins are up 2-1 in their series with the Maple Leafs. Game 4 in
the most
Toronto.
Canadian name you can have.
The Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
Unlike the Toronto Raptors or the Toronto Blue Jays.
I kind of like the name of the Raptors. You know, all of those Canadian dinosaurs you're so familiar with.
Well, they also have the Winnipeg Jets and the Calgary Flames. Those are the two other teams in the NHL in Canada. Celtics doing well in the playoffs. I know you're a big Celtics fan, a big Shane Larkin fan.
I hate him. He's the worst.
He
is a plight.
Well, they're up 2-0 on the Milwaukee Bucks, so they're doing well there. Series shifts to Milwaukee, so that's always exciting. High school sports or spring sports are underway in Maine. You've got baseball and softball trying to play.
Yeah, that's the operative word. Really cold outside.
Well, it's not just cold.
Sometimes it's freezing rain.
Or snow, apparently, or whatever, but the fields are just soaked. Teams can't get on the fields.
Yeah.
But I guess it's supposed to be nice next week, like in the 50s and 60s and sunny, so maybe spring is coming. What other exciting sports? Kyle Busch won for the second week in a row in the NASCAR. They won at Bristol, and they go to a track that I like because it's named after me, Richmond.
I assumed it was either going to be Jared or Richmond.
Yeah, yes, they go to Richmond for some Saturday night racing. Let's see what else. Oh, Boston Marathon. First time in, I think, 33 years a woman won a U.S. woman won the women's Boston Marathon. So that was exciting. There
was a fist fight with your precious Red Sox.
That was old news. That's a couple weeks old.
Whatever. I don't know anymore.
Or did it happen it may have happened the night we were doing last week's podcast.
Oh. So it's new to us.
Yes, there was a fight with the Sox and Yankees. The rivalry is renewed. The Red Sox are playing very well.
Did it go away?
It kind of did for a little bit the last few years. They were just kind of like, but it's kind of turning it back up. The Yankees are getting better again. So it's turning back up and getting better. That's all I really have for sports.
Okay.
Nothing really. I mean, every team's doing well in their playoff pushes. I fully expect both the Celtics and Bruins to make the next round of the playoffs. And
everyone's killing birds.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Celtics and Bruins alike.
Yeah, you asked, like, hey, remember that time that pitcher in baseball hit that bird?
That exploded.
Yes. And I was like, yeah, it's Randy Johnson, which was the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Vaporized that bird.
You imagine being the catcher and having all the bird sinew come into your face from where the ball hit the bird?
You know what? All things considered, that is one of those times where not having high-def television was probably for the best.
It probably was.
Because that was low-def. Or SD, if you will.
Trying to think of anything else sport newsworthy. No, not really. Not off the top of my head. That's all I got.
All right. Then, I guess, from there, it's time to review a thing.
Ooh, is it
in a corner of sorts?
Is it my reading corner?
Yes. It's
hooray! Jared's reading corner!
It's Jared's reading corner.
I like this theme. Every time we have, I know that you don't hear it when we do it, but I think it's the favorite theme that we have. To do things, I think, a little bit differently than we normally do. I just want to do a quick recap of the book to kind of not potentially spoil upcoming Infinity War. Oh, by the way, we're doing Infinity Gauntlet. Didn't mention that. Should have.
You kind of have this look about you. You kind of look like one of the characters in the book. You have the red hood on.
It's like a hobo?
No, I mean, I was trying to be nice. And I can't think of his name off the top of my head now. I just read the book, and it was, he's like Thanos' lackey, his little...
Talking about Eros? Are you talking about his brother?
No, his, the guy who steals Oh, spoiler alert. Somebody tries to steal the Infinity Gauntlet from Thanos.
Eric Masterson, crappier Thor.
No, not him. Not crappy Thor.
He wears a jean jacket for a while.
Before that, it was he's kind of like interpreter between him and Mistress Death. It starts with an M. It's very foreboding, evil sounding name.
Mephisto?
Yes, him! Mephisto!
Marvel's version of the devil. He took Peter Parker's marriage one time. That everyone still hates everyone for that.
Well, fair enough.
Yes, I look like the devil, apparently. So, quick summary before giving general thoughts and impressions. Thanos gets the Infinity Gauntlet, all the Infinity Stones. No explanation needed. He just has them. And in order to seduce Mistress Death...
I'm going to break it down even easier. This is a cautionary tale, man, of doing stupid things to try and impress the woman that you like. That's all this is. This was a giant story arc of Thanos becoming all lovey boy for Mistress Death, and he's willing to do some stupid shit to win her favor, and she doesn't see... She sees past his charade, and, she gets what she wants, and he doesn't get what he wants. He even brings in another, like a side piece to try and be like, oh, look at this. Hey, how you doing, baby?
I know, Thanos' real issue is that he can't get laid. That is the core of Thanos' problem. How do you relate to this?
That's not much of a problem anymore, but...
anymore. So Thanos gets the Infinity Gauntlet, and to impress Mistress Death, he snaps his fingers, destroys half the Marvel Universe.
Well, because she felt the universe was out of balance. There were more living than dead things.
Yeah. So Adam Warlock arrives at Earth with the Silver Surfer.
Don't forget, Adam Warlock was also inside the Soul Gem.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I wasn't going to get into it.
Okay.
He still might be. It still might be part of the movie because we don't know where the Soul Gem is. And Adam Warlock has only been cocooned so far.
I'm just proving to you that I read the book.
You did. I appreciate... When did you do that? 20 minutes ago?
No, I did it over the course of the last 2 days.
Okay, good.
I didn't try and jam it all in one day. And after the Watchmen fiasco, I've decided it would be better if I actually read.
It was almost 100 episodes ago. I haven't gotten over it.
You have or haven't?
I haven't, personally.
Oh. Maybe someday I'll come back and revisit it.
Well, maybe when the HBO show happens. Adam Warlock gathers everyone up who's still alive in the Marvel Universe. They go into attack Thanos, get their asses handed to them. Like, they all die. Everyone dies.
Yeah, Silver Surfer gets his guts ripped out, which, by the way, who knew he was made out of wires?
Then the Infinity Gauntlets get taken away from Thanos, and it turns out that his actual problem is he inherently has a desire to lose for some reason, and that's why he loses. And then everything gets turned back normal. It's fine.
Yes.
That's the whole book.
Yeah, but there's some interesting things. Well, first of all, Doctor Strange doesn't die. He just kind of hangs out and does nothing. You have the Watcher, who just appears out of nowhere at the end, like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm here and I'm a thing.
Again, that's a very summed up version of the book and what might happen in the movie.
And Doctor Doom's a real asshole.
He always is. What are your general thoughts on this book?
Man, there's a lot of stuff that happens in it that if you don't have a base understanding of other things, you get very lost.
Yeah, they do go relatively deep cosmic on this. It's not like deep cosmic, but if you have no idea about the cosmic side of the Marvel Universe, it's like, who are these assholes?
Also, what's up with Doctor Strange's mustache in this book?
He has a mustache.
It's different than normal, though. It's more bushy Tom Selleck mustache.
It was the early 90s. Selleck was in. He was making guest appearances on Friends.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Wasn't he Monica's older boyfriend for years?
Magnum P.I., baby.
I hope I'm not getting that wrong. I don't know Friends that well. And also the only thing I could point to for Tom Selleck in the 90s.
Oh, speaking of
making occasional 90s guest appearances on Friends.
90s sitcoms, Harry Anderson died. Night Court. Did you ever watch Night Court?
I never did.
I was 80s, 90s. Yeah. Arlie Ermy died too.
Yeah, Arlie Ermy died.
This became a real depressing Jared's Reading Corner.
Yeah, we can connect it to comics. He briefly had a voiceover in X-Men The Last Stand, worst X-Men movie.
Is it really the worst X-Men movie? Remember Apocalypse?
That was just boring. That one is the blandest X-Men movie.
Apocalypse?
I think so.
Last Stand, they kill Xavier and then he's back at the end.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah. The explanation makes no sense. You need to know that Xavier has a twin that he tried to choke out with an umbilical cord in the womb. And also that twin is a lady in the comics, so none of that works.
Retcon, baby. Woo!
Yeah, but no, that was a bummer. And he was real-life military. He was in the Marines.
Yeah, he was.
He
was a real-life drill sergeant.
And best known from Full Metal Jacket.
And The Boys of Company C.
And what I was hearing about it was Did
you ever watch that?
No, that one I don't know.
It's really good. It's very similar to Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, I mean, he was basically the same role in everything he did, but damn, no one could do it like he could.
No.
And that's where I learned the term skull.
Oh, yeah. There's some even better ones.
And there's like a 9-year-old boy who's just like, ooh. That was me, by the way, at 9 when I watched that movie.
You just screw yourself up and start shitting me, Tiffany cufflinks. Choke yourself.
Has nothing to do with
Don't touch me. Anyway, back to Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. I don't know how much I buy. I do like the story, and it does get very big, and it is very focused on Adam Warlock and the Silver Surfer, kind of as the main characters aside from Thanos. But I don't feel great about the Thanos inherently wants to lose, and that's why he never beats the Avengers. I don't feel great about that.
He beat them. He beat them very badly.
I mean, he killed all of them, but then
except for Doctor Strange.
Yes, except for him. But then at the end of the day...
Wong disappeared, so that was devastating.
But do you know, at the end of the day, it's just like, oh, he wants to lose, and that's why he's able to be beat. That just feels kind of weak to me.
Also, how wildly convenient is it for Marvel Cinemas that most of the Fantastic Four are ones that disappear?
Yeah.
Like, this is extremely convenient for them for this movie.
Yeah, it's like,
no one in the Fantastic Four really plays a role in this.
Yeah, I mean, also, they have a bunch of alternate versions of things. Like, we see Wolverine in there, who plays a relatively small role. We see a version of the Hulk who's relatively talkative at that point. But then we also get, like...
She-Hulk.
Yeah, she's in there. The 90s Thor, who is the worst Thor. He's all about wearing a jean jacket, and it's all cut off, because he's a 90s kind of guy.
Who doesn't have the power of Thor if he's not holding the hammer.
That was the way the old Thor used to work, too. Is like, if he wasn't touching the hammer for long enough, then he'd revert back to Donald Blake. That's how it used to be. They kind of dropped that. That's all done now.
So, unlike the movies where it's Thor, real Thor.
Yeah, where it's all Thor all the time.
Also, the council, I want to call them the Godfathers. All of the gods.
Oh, you said like the Celestials and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So not like Michael Corleone.
No, not like Michael Corleone. But you had like Thor and...
Who was the Fredo
Zeus?
of the Celestials? Who thought they were smart? Got shot in a boat. Spoilers for Godfather 2, I guess.
Fredo said he was smart. He said he could do things.
Oh, yeah, he thought he was.
Yeah, and then he opened his mouth when he took him to that weird brothel. The guy with the giant dong. It's true. The guy had a giant man piece. And, well, Fredo, dumb Fredo. Because up to that point, Michael didn't know it was Fredo. Michael was sure he was going to die that night.
So,
anyway, we digress.
I think this movie, or not the movie, I think this book is going to really, it lends like kind of all of the credence to the idea that basically all of the Avengers die. Not all of them are going to die, but I think we're going to see most of them kick the bucket in this.
I mean, he dispatches with them in a variety of creative ways.
And you get to see some stuff from the trailer, like that stuff of like Thanos and Captain America going toe to toe. Like he ends up breaking Captain America's shield, and you could go back to that like old, like the first Captain America of just being like, I don't like bullies. I don't where they. It doesn't matter where they come from. To be like Thanos is just like the galaxy's biggest bully, who again can't get laid, and that's his issue.
It really is a cautionary tale that you beware what women will make you do. Because he does everything that Mistress Death wants him to do, and she hates him anyway. She totally uses him. She had no intention of even, like, taking him out to, like, have a galactic coffee, or go to a movie, or even, like, lunch. Nope, and nope. She says, hey, can you call out the people in the universe? Done. Let's go on a date. I changed my mind.
That's really all he wants. He wants a friend, a lady
friend.
Well,
he made his own perfect lady friend.
Yeah, she didn't make it out.
No.
Now, we do see in this book that Nebula is the one who ultimately takes down Thanos. Do you think we'll see that in the movie?
I wouldn't be surprised.
My guess...
Although Nebula looks like the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, Nebula has had a rough time with this. Nebula ultimately gets the Infinity Gauntlet from Thanos, takes him down. I think that's a possibility. I think I've said this before on the show, but if there was anyone who's going to take down Thanos, I'd like it to be Drax.
Well, Drax in the book does get a shot in on him.
Yeah.
He knocks him off his feet.
Also, a very... different Drax. You have to see the difference of Drax.
He's got a big skull plate, belt buckle.
He's just a big old dumb guy who used to be a saxophone player.
Looks like He-Man.
You didn't focus on that saxophone player thing.
No, I skipped right over that. Yeah. I glanced right over that.
I'd like to see it be Drax and takes him out. Drax has
I can't equate Drax with Kenny G. Sorry.
Yeah, he's killed him before. Thanos has died like 3 or 4 times, and one of the times is Drax punches him from the back. And oh man, what was that? Black Hand was a 90s movie. Like, he punches him so hard through the back, he punches his heart out of his chest. And then he drops it in a paper bag and it continues to beat.
Oh, that was Dumb and Dumber.
Okay, thank you. That last bit didn't happen, but yeah, Drax has punched him.
No, he like gets a little doggy. Yeah, Dumb and Dumber.
No, Drax has punched his heart out through his back.
Oh.
So I'd like to see that, personally.
Good for Drax.
If I had to take a stab in the dark or a punch through the back.
I'll be interested to see how they weave Adam Warlock into this.
Marvel and James Gunn, the guy who directed the Guardians movies, he's been very upfront saying, like, Adam Warlock is not in this movie. And part of me putting him at the end of Guardians 2, I had to, convince Marvel to do it by saying, I will shout it from the mountaintops that he is not in Infinity War. That being said, he could also just be full of it, because, no one's going to spoil it.
No. What was I going to say?
We see Silver Surfer we see Hulk filling in for the Silver Surfer role.
Yep.
That we saw in the trailer, Silver Surfer falls from the sky, crashes through the Sanctum Sanctorum. He's like, Thanos is coming, and we see a very similar scene in the trailer, which I assume that, Bruce Banner's just going to be like, Thanos is coming. Brr. He punched me so hard I came from space and landed in a building of a guy who knew this stuff.
Convenient.
Yeah.
Super convenient.
Yeah, I know. Of all the buildings you could fall through.
The Sanctum Sanctorum, which also apparently is in upstate New York and not in New York City, according to the comic book.
I think it's in Greenwich.
I think so too, but in the comic book it shows New York State, and it's emanating from upper New York State, Albany.
I don't think it's in Albany. I think it's in Greenwich. It's definitely in the city.
Yeah, I mean, it should be. I mean, nothing really, there's not a lot in Albany. Have you ever been to Albany?
I've driven through it.
Yeah, it's about all you need to do, really.
I've never stopped.
It's probably better that way. There were a lot of cool Easter eggs in there, though. There was a Howard the Duck mention in the book. There was also a Trump Tower getting sucked into the sea on the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, there was. I have a page in the store. I don't know if I brought this up on the show before or not, but there's a page in the store. I got it because when I was living in Jersey, New Jersey got its own superhero team for a 6-issue mini. I was like, oh, it just reminds me of a point in time. It's kind of fun. But the page that I bought is the Defenders beating up literal Nazis in a Trump casino.
There's a lot to unpack there.
I think it's kind of hilarious.
There's a lot to unpack there.
It's not why I bought the page, but it is what it is.
Good to know.
I just bought it because of the Jersey connection. I liked it. I thought it was a good page from it. But yeah, the page is literally Defenders beating up Nazis in the Trump.
We're 1 week away from Infinity War.
Yeah, we are.
Is that crazy?
We're going to see that next week. Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm pumped. In 3D.
It wouldn't be my first choice, but by the time we got around to buying tickets...
Yeah, we were kind of late on that.
That's where we landed.
Kind of slow on the stick there.
Whatever.
It's all right.
It'll still be a good time. I mean, I'll just cry for joy for 2 hours.
You're not going to cry on my shoulder. Stop touching me.
It's going to be like that little kid who crawled into his dad's lap when we saw Ready Player One.
Yeah, during the Shining scene.
Yeah. He's like, nope, all done with this. But, I don't know, Infinity War, I think it's a really solid read. I think it's kind of hard to get into if you don't know Marvel Cosmic. But at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily a bad introduction to those characters. I mean, we read about Eternity last week, and Thanos ends up taking over Eternity. I don't think we're necessarily going to see that in the movie.
No.
But I think Eternity is certainly a possibility to show up, along with other cosmic beings that we're going to see in this movie. I mean, for what I'm going to guess for all the different characters we're going to see, I think this is a worthwhile thing to follow up on, because I think there is going to be a lot of cameos that people might not know, and this book might be a good jumping on point for that. That's also just a really good story. I'd recommend reading it.
A lot of deep cuts, some pulls.
Yeah.
I also love how Spider-Man gets his classic web over the face thing. And then he's also like, you handle him, I'll take out the bimbo. And he totally gets beaten by Thanos' purple woman.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally recommend it. What are your thoughts?
I'd have to echo him. I mean, it's a good story. It's dense in parts. There's a lot of what the hell and what's going on. Because there's 5 or 6 different story threads happening at once.
There's also a ton of follow-up to this story in particular, mostly by the writer Jim Starlin. He spun this out into a bunch of other stories. Some people kind of consider them their own side universe. Other people can think of them as being main Marvel. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, the Infinity Gauntlet spun out a ton of stories. This is a seminal book for Marvel.
I knew you were going to say that word.
Seminal?
Seminal. That's your favorite word when you're describing something of high value.
Well, if it is.
Yeah, but...
I am also not using it incorrectly.
I'm not saying
So what do you want from me?
No, I'm just...
Get a different word.
Or maybe we need to spend less time together because I was getting ready to complete your sentence. I knew. I felt it coming. Wow. Good for you. I'm proud.
Thanks. You saw me hold back?
Yes.
Now for my favorite part of the show. What's that say? Talk to the audience. Oh, God, this is always death.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
Hot topic this week. The hottest of topics.
Weird store, but I strangely enjoy going in there.
Do you?
I like looking at the novelty t-shirts and the weird lava lamp shit in the back.
And the, off-brand sex toys?
I usually don't congregate around the middle of the store.
Is that where they keep? I haven't been in a Hot Topic in many a year.
Oh, I was thinking Spencer's Gifts. Sorry. Spencer's way cooler than Hot Topic. Oh, the Hot Topic is bad.
I don't know the difference between the two. Honest, I can't remember now.
Spencer Gifts has more of that like novelty, personal item stuff. Hot Topic is more...
Personal item?
Yeah, you like that? Personal massage wands.
Jeez.
Speaking of like personal massage wands, you know what the most underrated store in the mall is? Brookstone. You ever been to a Brookstone?
I don't know, maybe?
That's where they have those massage chairs you can kind of sit in and get a free massage.
Stop talking about massages. I don't want to know where... Stop touching me. Ew, that was weird and uncomfortable.
Well, you don't have the whiskey for me to grab this week.
Ugh, he touched me. But...
I'm sure Abba wrote a song about that.
Hot Topic for this week.
Zach's thigh.
Ugh, don't touch me. In the upcoming Infinity
It was uncomfortably warm.
I'm hot and bothered.
That's what you should be.
Who are the Black Order in Avengers Infinity War? You go. You answer this. You've made me weird and uncomfortable. You feel free to answer.
Well, as everyone knows, Zach, the Black Order was a group that worked covertly.
Do you want me to give you some names and see if you can come up with what they do?
Oh, no, let me see if I can come up with some of... Nightshade is in the Black Order.
Not even close.
Well, you tell me what the Black Order is, huh? Smarty pants.
I'll tell you their names and you tell me what they do.
Okay.
First and foremost, Corvus Glaive.
He corves up the Thanksgiving turkey.
In all fairness, he does like to glaive.
What the hell is glaving?
He has a weapon that is referred to as his glaive that we do see being used in the trailer on Vision's head. But that's his whole big thing. He is Thanos' main general. Something that we see different from the comic iteration is that these are being referred to as the children of Thanos, much like Gamora and Nebula.
Oh,
but Corvus Glaive is your lead guy, and he just likes to stab you with his big old pokey stick.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Proxima Midnight.
Proxima Midnight. Everyone knows that that's close to midnight. Because Proxima Centauri is the nearest star. And
fancy lady.
Yes. With a name like Proxima, you know that she's classy.
Yeah. With the way that, much like the Italian, if it ends with an A, you know that it's feminine versus the masculine of Proximo.
Proximus. Proxima Midnight.
I like that joke. You didn't react to it at all. I thought it was funny.
I moved on from it. Good for you.
Whatever.
I'll touch your thigh again.
I'll laugh at my own jokes.
Proxima Midnight, as we all know, is the timekeeper. And she lets you know when it's approximately midnight.
So wrong on every level. Look, honestly, this character's kind of bland. She's a lady who has a spear that shoots lasers. Pew pew.
That's kind of cool.
I wish I had a spear that shoots lasers.
There's jokes to be made. I'm going to leave them alone.
Ebony Maw. Ebony
Maw, not to be confused with Ebenezer Scrooge. No, Ebony Maw, founder of the BET.
Boo.
I have no idea what Ebony Maw does.
Ebony Maw is all about that magic, son. That's the character that you see messing with Doctor Strange, and what we've seen in the comics before has equal or greater power to Doctor Strange mystically. And then we get the renamed Cull Obsidian, was originally named Black Dwarf.
Well, Obsidian is a black, it references black. Coal Obsidian is obviously talking about people from the coal belt, and they are into fossil fuel burning, and they make diamonds.
Look, this is just the strong one. He hits things. There's nothing that interesting about him.
Oh.
That's his whole bit. He's the strong one.
Oh, okay.
End of list. In the books, there's more to the Black Order and different iterations of it. These originally came out, and maybe a thing we'll be talking about next week. But I mean, most of these they're relatively new characters, and they're, for the most part, pretty disposable. Most of them are dead right now in the books, if not permanently.
Thanos can them back to life. Did you ever... Here, you want your mind to be blown?
Sure.
When you snap your fingers, where's the sound come from?
I mean, I assume the bone.
It's when your finger hits your palm.
Is it? There's this. This is my finger hitting my palm.
Yeah, but it's hitting...
This is snapping.
Yeah. Now put something in between that. See? I'm still snapping?
I'm masturbating right now.
See you next week.
We're not done. We have to plug.
You seem like you already are, sir. You already are.
I don't know. Screw it. I'll leave it. I don't care.
Well, if you want to find Zach, No, but it's when your finger hits your palm.
So glad you left me a closer in there.
I can't. This is hard to do. See? Is your mind blown?
Apparently.
Yeah.
If you want to find the show or
any more after that kind of talk.
Everything can be found over at editorsnotecomics.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. As always, we would appreciate a rate, a review, a subscribe on iTunes. It makes us more visible and helps us grow, which we would like that. We'd like to be more popular. We're really just searching for your adoration, likes, and approval.
Yeah, and if you want to help us buy some self-help books so we can become more mature, donate $1 on our Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/editorsnotecomics. You get this show a whole day early for $1 a month, and you get the Buffy back issue bin 1 week early, and that gets you access 1 week early to Zach and Emily's exciting interview with that guy.
Chris Rael,
yeah, him.
I'm looking forward to that. I got some hard-hitting questions. Actually, I think it's going to be interesting.
I will say your interviewing skills have grown tremendously.
I think my favorite one is the first one I did.
The one without me?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, just because I know Steve. So it's easier to interview a guy you know versus like cold calling someone like, hey,
I think
how do you feed off this energy?
Our Jim Lawson interview was fun.
I liked it. I thought it was good.
That was good. Who else have we interviewed?
I did Kevin Eastman.
Oh, by yourself.
I've offered every one of these to you. You're like, I'm busy.
I wasn't going to drive all the way back to all the way down to Shellback.
Yeah. You got a basketball that day or something.
I probably did.
But yeah, that'll do it for this week. We'll be back next week to do more of our Infinity Watch.
Oh, by the way, I'm on Twitter at Junior Rich.
That too. Who cares?
Yeah, well, I do.
Okay.
I'm so close to having 1,000 followers.
Are you really?
I think so, yeah. Let me check.
Why?
Or maybe I'm not that close to it. Maybe I'm close to following 1,000 people. I was really close to some sort of Twitter milestone recently. Actually, it's my Twitterversary was this past weekend.
You know what I love so much about Twitter? For me personally, because I get kind of...
Oh, I only have 367 followers.
So far from 1,000.
God damn.
I'll get right on... It's usually like Tuesdays. I'll tweet out about books that are coming and all that, and I'll usually get like retweets from creators, and then I get a quick surge of followers.
Oh, you know what? I almost have 1,000 Facebook friends.
And then by Friday, they just all disappeared. Like, this guy isn't doing anything. 1,000 Facebook friends. I have like 100. I culled it years ago, and then a bunch of people jump ship this week.
Wow. I have almost 1,000 Facebook friends.
I don't want to deal with that many people. But yeah, we'll be back next week to talk Infinity. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.